Welcome to Sports Scope, the most influential sports talk show in the nation.
What is today, the 19th?
Stay tuned for updates and great sports content.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Sports Scope. I'm your host, Robert Butler, on this 15th day of September here. I got a great show on tonight. Going to talk about what I see as the 5 biggest games of the week, this particular week in the NFL. The injuries are starting to mount for some teams and whatnot. I wouldn't call them must wins, but nobody wants to get off to an 0-2 start. You'll see pressure start to mount for some coach and whatnot. I've got Carlos Mad New Yorker Chavez around here somewhere. Hopefully he'll pop up. If not, I'll talk about these games by myself and also throw in one college game. Tennessee and Florida. You know, I got a lot of people out of the Nashville, Middle Tennessee area that watch the program. Some Florida fans that follow me on X now and everything. So let's go ahead and take our first and only break, and we'll be back here in 49 seconds. Hopefully Carlos will be here. I haven't seen him yet. Here on Sports Scope, folks. Hello, Sports Scope followers. The program has seen tremendous growth since going 5 days a week. I just wanted to thank everybody for your cash contributions and sharing the program with friends and families. Just a reminder, if you want to contribute to the program, go to the Cash App, the cash sign, and Sports Scope. There are other ways to contribute to the program listed at the bottom of the screen. If you want to advertise on the program, go to sports, that is sports with an S, another S, scope, SKOPE, at gmail.com, just like it's listed at the bottom of the screen. Thank you and enjoy the program. Alrighty then. I'm back here live on every link here. Okay. Well, wait for Carlos Mad New Yorker Chavez. I was going to ask him about the Daniel Jones, New York Giants, and that coaching staff here. Now, the Giants this week, they go on the road and play Arizona. We know what happened last week, Sunday Night Football. They were beat 40-0, Pickles. They were beating that game 40-0. And let's go back to the previous game from there. And kudos to the Eagles. Eagles got some injuries too, by the way. For those of you who played that point spread, you got to be really irritated by that last touchdown. It was 6.5 for most books. And, of course, they end up winning by 6. Very annoying there. But anyways, let's talk about the Giants. So going back to last year, they lost 38-7 to the Eagles last year in the playoffs, 40-0 this year in the regular season. They have been outscored 78-7 in the last 2 games. You know, and I know Brian DeBall. You hear the media and everybody flaunting over him, the national people, the local, and why wouldn't they? You know, they won a lot of games with shifty magic tricks, kind of like Matt Nagy and Mitch Trubisky with the Bears back when he first took over that job with the Bears. Matt Nagy there. And then the next year they went from 12-4 to 8-8. I had this Giant team going at 9-8. Now they have signed Daniel Jones to an extension. There was a holdout with Barkley. They do have a good interior defensive line. But my thing is, folks, I think that this team, you got Wink Martindale, Brian DeBall, and everybody. There is a major meeting being held that's already been held this week and say, hey, listen, it's not just about Daniel Jones here. I mean, everybody on this team has got to be. You're talking. We're talking about special teams touchdown. There was a pick 6 for a touchdown. We didn't score on offense, even though they have added on, pieces there to the offense there, getting Jalen Hyatt in the third round there, keeping Saquon Barkley. So they've had, I wouldn't say a come to Jesus, but I'm telling you, it's got to be some major soul searching in New York. Now, Mac don't want to hear this. Probably he does want to hear this, Mac, from Mac and Jack. He's a huge Giants fan. But if my team is beat like that in the professional levels, I mean, there's got to be some accountability there. And there's Carlos. So let me go ahead and bring him on. I was just talking about. Good to see you, man.
Happy Friday, man. Sorry about it. I had some login issues, man.
Oh, okay.
Spectrum.
Do you want me to send it to you on Messenger from now on?
No, it's all right. It's just I got Spectrum, man. Acting a fool. So.
Oh, yeah, man. Boy, tell you. Okay. I was just talking to the audience, man. The Giants have been outscored. Let's go back to the last year's playoff game against the Eagles with the 40-0 Sunday night trouncing of Dallas there, 78-7. It's more than the Daniel Jones thing. You got to have some accountability on that whole coaching staff if I'm Brian DeBall, no?
Well, the reality is
those are two divisional foes too, man.
Right, and the reality is what I've been saying from the get is like this team first of all only has a few people on the team that are actual stars, right? Yeah, that you can count on. Let's just say two handfuls, right?
Yeah,
right. Where other teams have Well, other teams have two handfuls and then outstanding picks and rookies that are stepping up the game and playing more than their value, right?
Yeah.
So then on top of that, you have the new regime of Dayball trying to instill whatever he is trying to do offensively. But the only thing working for the Giants is their defense. That's the only thing that's keeping them in the game.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And if the defense doesn't do anything as far as give them in a position to score, right, then they're not scoring that many points anyway.
Right.
Right. So what you're talking about is the reality that a lot of fans are just kind of put in the back of their mind because they're, they finally signed Saquon and they did this deal for this guy with Daniel Jones and like, it's not a good situation. The better situation would have been to get rid of both of them.
Yeah.
Try to get draft picks, rebuild the team from the defense, which is already good, right? So
that's a very good point. And something that should have been on the table because to the audience here, this team has a new general manager too. They have a new general manager, Schoen or whatever his name is, that comes over, Brandon Beam or whatever, that comes over from Buffalo, and
he's a
you got to
Beam
put
protege.
your staple, huh?
He's a Brandon Beam protege.
Oh, Brandon Beam protege.
Right.
Yeah. Brandon Beam's still the Buffalo guy.
Right.
Not to get mixed up with the Oakland A's Billy Beam, who's working elsewhere. So and Chad Collins makes a good point. Sounds like I talk about the Titans. Well, the Giants are a team that Giants are a team that you still want to make it over in the. I don't understand, but look how who was it? Collinsworth or somebody that said when they played their game against the Eagles in the playoff, they were lost 38-7. They were just outclassed. I mean, there's some major, like you said, capable starters. There's so many more starters on Dallas and Philadelphia right now that are at the NFL level, and not so many with the New York Giants there. So I think you think the ownership was pressuring Daniel Jones and re-signing of Saquon Barkley.
I mean, listen, you're the owner and the GM. You got to make the best decision for your team, and they're making the best decision business-wise. They weren't making the best decision. wise, and that's okay.
And I hate that, and that is true. I think a lot of that goes on.
Right, that will happen every other season, because of contracts, player disputes and things. That would happen, but you still have to put a winning team on the field. And to Chad's point, you guys in Tennessee don't understand and realize that.
Joe Sheehan, I had his name right, Chad.
Even though the AFC South is not a strong division, Tennessee is still more likely to win that division every year or every other year. From like the past seasons to like maybe 3 or 4 more seasons to the future. And the reason being is that the ownership knows, they understand they're not football minded, and they're allowing for the coaches and the GMs to work together to put together a team on the field that has an opportunity of winning. Now they ain't got a winning team because they don't got that much money, right? They're still known as a small market team, right? Your TV money, your media money, all that is smaller. You get less of that in Tennessee. But the roster wise, you guys would probably be ranked. Tennessee Titans would probably be ranked in the mid 10 to 20s. Amongst
they got a good defense,
teams.
But they have an offensive line issue, just like the Giants, actually.
Right. Well, so the thing is that unlike the Giants, your coach there in Tennessee is defensive minded, and the defense has been consistent since he's been there. The only thing that hasn't been consistent in Tennessee is their offensive coordinators have been leaving every 2 or 3 years. Yeah. Right. And that's the problem. That's the biggest issue that you guys have had, is that you can't keep a coordinator around for more than 3 years. Now, some of these coordinators you've had, it's a good thing you haven't kept around for 3 years. And some of them you wish you would have had for like at least 3 years, right?
Well, one of them got hired by the Falcons, and the other guy got fired, and the Jets picked him up. So hey, that's a good transition. Aaron Rodgers goes on Pat McAfee today, and he says, "Listen, I'm coming back, man. I'm coming back." What is your thoughts on that?
You got to be a fool to leave that kind of money on the table. First of all, no matter how old you are, right? You're not. And if we're talking about football in today's day, we're talking about business more than we are talking about the actual game, right?
Okay.
So you're not going to leave that much money on the table, no matter who you are, no matter what you've been through. Because if that wasn't the case, some of these guys would never come back at all, right?
Yeah.
So like, you saw a couple players like Rivers play a year longer, a couple years longer than he needed to. Breeze played 2 seasons more than he needed to. What's his name at Atlanta? He played a little longer than he needed
Chandler?
to. No, not him too, but the one what's his name?
Matt Ryan, right? So some of these guys play a little longer than they needed to because the money they can't leave that much money on the table at the end of the day, and as long as the team around them was worth that risk, right? Yeah. It's risk versus reward, right? And they were looking for the big payday, and a lot of them got it. Right? Those quarterbacks I mentioned them, they got it. They got their little options, and they got paid fairly well. So Pickles, he was talking about coming back, period. A lot of people said this could be a career ending. You get Achilles injury. He's going to be 40 in December. It's a long shot, but I think he'll come back like Kobe Bryant did late in his 30s. Same Achilles injury, just to prove he can come back. He may be a shell of himself, and like you said, he likes the money, and he's really digging the New York lifestyle. I was reading something today that he's seeing Kim Kardashian on the slide. So go figure. So that may be the beginning of the end for him. Just the other
thing, the difference between Aaron Rodgers and those other quarterbacks I mentioned, besides the fact that they don't want to leave money on the table, is that Aaron Rodgers has been known to be taking care of his body more than those guys as well. So he's in a better situation to be able to come back, whether he's a shell of himself or not. He's in a better situation to come back and at least try to do something if need be, just to make his money, just to make the money worth it, right?
Yeah, I think he's got a sense he's let these guys down. He's a single guy. He likes to hang around the facility. I don't think he's putting on an act. I really think he's enjoying himself up there.
And if anybody had the opportunity to watch the Hard Knocks
on
HBO, see the Aaron Rodgers and how different it's been since he's arrived in New York than the prior Aaron Rodgers that you saw on the Packers.
Yeah.
When he was, on the media. Like the Aaron Rodgers on Hard Knocks is like, man, enjoy every moment. You don't know when it's gonna, how long it's gonna last. And just take it in, breathe in the air. Have fun with your teammates. Enjoy this. You could get cut. You could get injured. You get old.
Yeah.
Like he's out there being like a brotherly half father figure to them, and everybody's like, yeah, like this ain't your last hurrah. Like all this stuff. He's
really taking it. He's really taking this in, and
he just changed his perspective because, again, I guess the whole retirement thing, the whole being in the darkness, that all gave him a real awakening. And look,
darkness retreat. Yeah,
it was a good thing for him, and it was a good thing for the Jets because as much as he was with the Packers his whole career, he didn't bring that mess to the Jets. He brought a different vibe. And like right now, everybody here in the media in New York is all like, it's all doom and gloom, like as if he passed away, as if something happened to him on the field. And,
man, your connection's not good.
In reality,
that was funny. Carlos says the media in New York is acting because your connection's a little jacked up, but it's like he died or something. It happened on 9/11.
I know
that he's cursed.
Yeah, I mean, like. And so in that retrospect,
R.I.P. Aaron Rodgers.
he was a breath of fresh air for like 4 downs, right? Everybody was excited. The whole stadium was screaming.
He comes out with the flag and everything.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, I'm okay. Yeah, he came
Everybody's
out
like USA. Oh,
he was our Captain America for like four downs, and then it was doom and gloom from there.
Oh my God! Pickles says wheelchair quarterback. When you say that, Pickles, it makes me think about Talladega Nights when Ricky Bobby. He's like, somebody needs to tell Ricky he can walk. He just picked up that wheelchair. We told him he's fine. Rodgers is playing basketball in the wheelchair.
Yeah, so. I think
funny, man.
I think he's gonna be all right. I think the problem and the issues lies like who's gonna replace what energy, what perspective he brought to the team. Like who's gonna bring that to the Jets team? Like Zach Wilson's the backup, and everybody knows Zach Wilson.
I can't believe they won that game, man. That was awesome. I mean, I went to bed. I couldn't stay up that late, but I was like, oh God, they won it in overtime.
Yo, it was. I was watching it, and I was like, here we go. Like here goes one of the 7 losses, and then I'm like,
me too.
It was, and then the ball goes.
Pleasantly surprised. I bet that game. I took the Jets.
Did anybody expect it to go to overtime after Aaron Rodgers left the field?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. That's the kind of Buffalo team that I don't understand why people are thinking that that's going to be a Super Bowl team.
Yeah.
Like they can't run the ball. This guy Allen has more picks in his career than half the NFL QBs right now. Like he, right. I think it's like 64, 65 or something like in his career. That's crazy. Like,
that's true, and I've been talking about this on this program. I think we've talked about it that, Jason Whitlock said he has a source in his locker room. Allen shot up to fame, and then I think maybe he has slacked off on his work. It showed in that Jets game, 3 interceptions to the same guy, and he had 2 fumbles in that game. I think he plays well Sunday against the Raiders, but that's why I had him at 9-8, man. I think it's going to implode up there in Buffalo.
I'm glad you're listening to me, but I'm
getting new research from everybody, but I'll give you credit if it makes you feel good, man. But you got to start coming in on time if you want that kind of credit.
I've been saying that. I've been saying that for the last 3 seasons there. Bobby.
The Ricky Bobby. Seasons. Yeah, that man. So that is another thing. I still think the Jets have a shot. I think they're a borderline playoff team, man.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
They were 10-7 last year.
Here's my question to you. Who's more likely to be a playoff team, the Titans or the Jets?
Oh, what? That's a good question. That is a good question. I would say, looking at the schedule, well, you got to say the Jets because they've already got a big win over a major opponent.
But
I think they'll lose to Dallas on Sunday.
What? Okay, so and I've been saying this all along for the last.
You thought the Titans would beat the Saints. I said it would be within that margin of error, and that's what it was.
1 point, Bobby. 1 point, Robert. Too.
Hey, it counts. 1 or 25, it still counts as one loss.
Look, Titan fans, I'm sorry, and I feel for you. And look, I was rooting for the Titans. Tannehill, what he did was uncalled for. He should have just been running the ball. I keep saying this. I don't know how many times I have to say this. Stop looking for that extra opening. If you don't see it, take off and go. Nobody's gonna stop you. Yeah. The only thing that's gonna stop him is the sideline as he's going towards it. That's it. Like, just run the ball, dude. That's what you've been known. That's your bread and butter. That's what got you the contract. Was the fact that you wasn't gonna do, dumb things and
well, he's rushing. That right side of that line is caving in, like I predicted, because Nicholas Petit-Farit is suspended because of the gambling issues. And
he'll be back.
Yeah, he'll be back in 6 games. They may be 2. A friend of mine brought this up today at work. He says, "Listen, maybe the Titans trade Tannehill to the Jets if they go 0-6 in the Jets.
The Jets don't want him. But the Jets don't want him. That's the problem. The Jets don't want him.
Yeah, they probably already made the call, right?
Right. Well, I don't think the Jets can afford to take on that contract, and they don't know what they will give for Tannehill. Like, who would you give? Like, what would you give for Tannehill? Like, you're not going to give
like a 5th or 6th. Yeah, it wouldn't be nothing.
Yeah, and the problem is that the value.
Well, he's on the last year of his contract, and I think a lot of Rodgers stuff for this year could be void. I don't know how that would be in the CBA, but I'm sure you could figure it out.
Right, but you can't pay Tannehill what you think he's worth because he didn't finish the contract out in Tennessee better or worse. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't be like, okay, since you had this huge contract, now we're going to pay you less. That's not how that works. Unfortunately for, like, he's got an agent and, they have to talk this guy up and all this and that, but he's going to get something similar to what he was making or a little bit less, not that much less, right?
Yeah.
And that's the problem, right? Because he's a quarterback and he's at that money level where they can't underpay him.
Well, they got the Chargers on Sunday. Both teams got injuries, Pickles. The Chargers, Bosa's questionable with the hamstring injury. That's their best pass rusher. Austin Eckler's doubtful. Eric Kendricks is doubtful. They got 2 linebackers that are doubtful. They're not the best coached team in the world. They're playing on the road at Tennessee, but Christian Fulton will not play, likely not, for the Titans.
But Robert, I mentioned this about the Chargers. It's like they have all these weapons for Herbert, but again, most of those weapons are over the age of 32. So how much longer can they stay on the field?
Well, Mike Williams is young, and then they have that other Quentin Johnson's a rookie. He's like 22.
Yeah, but they're not the only wide receivers. And they have, what's his name? He's almost 33. So, like, they can't stay healthy. Keenan Allen, he can't stay healthy. He's like one of the best receivers to have on a team, but he can't stay healthy. He can't stay on the field. And that, so, Tennessee, even though they're missing those cornerbacks, guys, that front line is going to wreak havoc on Herbert. And if Eckler and the tight end on the Chargers, if they can't help Herbert out this next game, the Titans are going to win this in a close. It's going to be a close game as well. So,
yeah, I think. But by the way, so DeAndre Hopkins hadn't practiced all week.
Oh my God!
They've got Burks back. I got a feeling it's an early start time. I like the way Tennessee, who had injuries last year, played the Chargers to the wire. Right. Tennessee's a little bit more healthy. Sonorski might not play, and that's their good left guard there.
Already, man.
That being said, I could see a Derrick Henry getting a lot of open field screens, Titans taking advantage of that and winning in a very close game like like a 22-19 or something like that.
So
Herbert's going to light that secondary up, but that doesn't mean they're going to score. You know,
that's the key
they'll
right there.
give up a lot of yards, but they won't score.
Yeah, and one of the things, watch out for Okonu, like that second running back in Tennessee to get the ball in their hands.
Yeah,
as well.
Spears.
Yeah,
or Chestnut.
So you're gonna see hopefully they keep the ball on the ground. And look, I keep saying this though, Tannehill. If you don't see a window open, just run the ball, man.
Yeah,
run through those little cracks and crevices, man, because that you there's no Bosa there. Don't be scared.
And Bosa might not play. So Tennessee could lose this. This is a 3-point spread for the Chargers, but the Chargers, I don't trust that head coach at all, man. No, and what he did last week.
And I find it weird that that's a 3-point on the Chargers because Tennessee's at home, and Tennessee usually plays well at home. They don't play great, but they play well. So
right,
opening
day, that they're going to play some good football though. Chargers should win. They got a better talented team, but you've seen Chargers blow leads before.
Talent has never won a Super Bowl. It's always been defense.
Well,
it's always been defense over actual talent. So.
Yeah, he does look old. He had three picks last week, and something.
He doesn't have to run.
That's why I didn't put him in the playoffs. I don't. There's too many questions about that line for Tennessee.
Yeah, well, I beg to differ because that division is not good at all. But like Tannehill, it's not like you have to put the trust in him. He just got to do the simple things as he only has to run 5 to 6 yards or just fall forward. He just can't lose the ball and throw interceptions and cause them to have to work harder on the defensive end, right?
Yeah.
Because the defense can bend, but they're gonna break soon enough, and you're not giving them an opportunity to do what they can do best, right? So plus give the ball to Henry. You got the best running back in the league.
So he's got to have some room to run, and
he make room.
You're gonna have to throw it to him in space. He caught 5 balls last year. I
saw him throw a quarterback like 5 feet last week. Yeah. Once he could have been doing it the whole game.
Yeah, that's true. But something.
Yeah, that's a problem.
Yeah, I'll take the Titans next week in a very close game. You said you'll take them too. I'll give you that about Texas A&M game. You said Miami'd win. I thought A&M. So you're up 1-0. Didn't really make predictions last week.
They better win.
It is what it is. So, okay, let's stay with the NFL. Jacksonville, they're at home. I don't think they play against Kansas City. This game may get delayed because of thunderstorms, but from everything I'm reading, I don't think Kelsey's going to play. He's got a cast on his leg, and he looks like he's still grimacing about that. But they do got Chris Jones back, though.
Here's the thing. Do you think Kelsey not playing in the game was a huge factor for the Chiefs, or do you just think that it was a little bit of Jones and Kelsey missing?
I think it was a combo of both. I think it was a combo of both.
So you got one of those guys back on the defense, which you're the Chiefs, and you hang your hat on them bending, not breaking, and them giving you the opportunity to score, right? So why do you think the Chiefs would not play that well? Because Mahomes himself can score about 3 touchdowns.
Well, Jacksonville's weak on the back end. You could throw on Jacksonville. We saw Richardson. Now he's a rookie and everything. You say, well, master element of surprise, but he had a really good game. He threw for a couple 100 yards there. He had problems throwing the ball at Florida. They have problems on their secondary. They're good up front, but they don't have the best Jacksonville don't have the best cornerbacks in the world. I think even without Kelsey, I think Kansas City extra days to prepare. Chris Jones will be on the snap count. I think they'll go to Jacksonville, whether it's going to be delayed or not. They got to play it at 7:00 at night. The Chiefs will find a way to win that game. I can't see them going out 0-2, but I mean it could. ETN, they got a good pass rush. Get by Jawan Taylor. He can't line up like he's a slot receiver anymore. That offensive lineman for the Chiefs, who used to play for Jacksonville. So he's going to be giving tips on the Jacksonville defense.
Yeah, but it's not secret what they do, man. They pretty. The one thing that they do that a lot of guys give up on is that they'll play the full game out, right?
Yeah.
To me, is that the effort is there the whole game for the Jaguars. They're younger, they're hungrier, right? And they put the effort longer than a lot of teams do. But that don't mean they win the games, right? Sometimes that extra effort don't mean anything. It's just, sometimes it's happenstance that you just don't get enough points.
Yeah.
Can the Jaguars score enough points to beat the Chiefs?
No, they could.
With Chris Jones
you saw those two wide receivers. Ridley's already been a great addition to this team. Christian Kirk's probably his day come Sunday. And by the way, your guy Ingram, former New York Giant, they're weak in the middle. That Kansas City team, they got one really good linebacker. I could see Ingram having a good game against them.
Well, I'm gonna tell you what,
that'll be a good game. That's why I brought it up.
Yeah, if Peterson's any smarter than everybody says he is, he'd use Ingram as a fifth wide receiver instead of putting him on the line and tight end, because he's less likely to save your quarterback than the running back is on a just chip block. So
Zay Jones is your touchdown maker. That guy gets a lot of touch. He loves to throw that guy the ball in the end zone. I bet won a lot of fantasy games.
He better stay on his feet to do that. Then somebody better block for Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, I mean they're not bad. There's some of their young players for Kansas City. I think it was Colin. He pointed that out. Detroit's just got a very good offensive line. They're young. They're in their prime. They're highly graded players. And they were still getting pressure on Jared Goff there with Detroit. So, that's going to be a good game. Now, of course, Chiefs have beat them twice. I don't think Trevor Lawrence ain't never beat this team,
Well, here's the thing, though, and Trevor Lawrence is getting better, but it's not all on Trevor Lawrence. This defense has to step up and prove that they're going to be a Super Bowl type, a playoff type of
defense. That's the expectation for that defense.
And you have a coach there in Peterson who overthinks, strategizes way too much.
Yeah.
And doesn't keep the game simple for some of these guys. And again, if they put Ingram on the tight end to block for Lawrence is going to get sacked. And I'm not saying that Ingram is weak. I'm just saying that's not his forte. Ingram has great hands.
He's a down the field threat kind of guy.
Yes. He's like a Graham type of tight end. He just says he is, but he's more of a wide receiver.
That is true. Graham was not really a good blocker.
No.
That's why he didn't work out in Seattle.
Right, because of
their physical team. I like Kansas City to win this game. Are you with Jacksonville or Kansas City?
I'm with the Chiefs.
Chiefs, okay.
I feel like this is a prove-it game for Jacksonville because they have to prove that they can beat a championship team, and I don't think they're up to snuff, unfortunately.
Right. Okay. Let's see. Where should we go now? Okay, let's Baltimore.
Yeah, baby, Ravens.
Hey, I'll tell you, it's gonna be a really good game.
This is a game of the week.
Yeah, Cincinnati comes off a rough loss. I told everybody I think this Cleveland team's a lot better than people are giving them credit for.
You did.
Yeah, they're really good up front now. They did lose a tackle. Cleveland did. The right tackle,
Roberto,
former Titan in that game.
You just got to say it, bro. Just say it. Watson's a comeback player of the year.
Watson could very well be the comeback player of the year. They still got a really good offensive line.
Man, Watson made them look good. He got rid of the ball. He ran the ball when he had to.
Yes.
He was being alert. He was being smart with the ball. I've
been high from day one on them going after Watson.
I
was by myself with that. A lot of people were saying that they were giving too much. I said they're Cleveland. They've never had nobody.
Keep him away from the massage parlors, and he'd be all right.
Yeah. I was going to say something about that. Okay, Baltimore. They play Baltimore. Cincinnati plays Baltimore Sunday. Baltimore is typical Baltimore. They're already banged up like nobody's business. Poor J.K. Dobbins, I feel bad for him. He's torn his Achilles.
Oh, man, what an injury.
Yeah, because he just tore his ACL a couple years ago.
Yeah.
He's on injured reserve. Marcus Williams is out, the safety. Now they're saying Tyler Limbaugh, their center, won't play. And Ronnie Stanley, their left tackle, won't play. So Mark Andrews is questionable. They don't know if he's going to play or not. They're thinking he's going to come back. Marlon Humphrey's been out. I think Cincinnati is going to come out like a house of fire and beat Baltimore and bounce back. What do you think?
I think this game is going to be so close and so boring because both teams are on that. I don't know if it's the Ohio River or what is going on in that division, but I think it's the game of the week, but it's going to be one of those close ones, 21-24. It could go either way. Because both teams struggling.
You taking Baltimore?
Here's the thing. Who's more likely to play a better game? Burrow or Lamar Jackson?
Oh, Burrow wins games without no offensive line at all. So that's easy.
I think Cincinnati's going to reap the benefits of Burrow in that contract and find out that is not the best deal they could have made.
Well, this is where we disagree. You take Baltimore, I take Cincinnati.
Yeah. And I believe Lamar Jackson is going to have to, because he has to. He wants to throw the ball more, but he'll run it, and they're going to win 24-21.
Well, you like that Zay Jones, the rookie receiver that they drafted out of Boston College? They said he was the fastest receiver in the league last week.
I like Baltimore because they show effort on both sides of the ball. They're balanced. The problem right now is injuries. But even with some of these injuries, and you saw, when Dobbins went down there, you saw that everybody picked it up. And that's important, that everybody picks it up. Yeah, Pickles, how about this? How about Burrow? Burrow will get about 200-300 yards passing, and they're still going to lose the game. How about that? I'll give Burrow, and I'll give those wide receivers, all of them on the Bengals, their fantasy points. They're all going to get fantasy points.
Well, Lamar could have a pretty good fantasy day.
They're not going to win the game.
Lamar may get hurt in this game. I hope not.
Do you believe that the Bengals defense can get to Lamar Jackson?
Oh yeah.
It's not the same that it was
last
year.
They play them every year, twice a year.
Did you not see them against Cleveland? Did you not see that
different animal?
How is Cleveland's O-line a different animal? Because it wasn't a defense versus defense. It was Cleveland's O-line versus Baltimore's defense. How is their O-line that much better?
Ronnie Stanley would not be in the game. Neither would their center.
Yeah, but again,
Cleveland had all their starters and their backup did well. Cochran's backup did well. But they had their left tackle, their center.
I'm positive to say that Lamar Jackson and Watson play a similar game, and that Lamar Jackson actually proved that he can get to the playoffs playing that style, and Watson has yet to get there.
No, Watson's won multiple playoff games, man. Jackson's won one. He beat Tennessee once.
Watson, how many times did Texans?
I want to say he's won 2 or 3.
The Texans?
Yeah.
Come on, man. The Texans one time.
They had Kansas City down 24-0 in Kansas City.
Yeah, the first year. That was it.
Okay. Well, his QBR in the playoffs is way higher. Lamar's is terrible.
Oh, no. Okay, so all right. So let's say the QBR.
I have to go back and check that. I think it's 2, but you say it's 1.
I'm saying that their styles are similar, right? Now, but Lamar Jackson, and this for sure.
He does look like Macaulay Culkin. If he was, somebody said a joke. He looks like Macaulay Culkin if he was playing.
Yeah.
That guy that ate those people, that serial killer in the movie.
He does kind of look like him. Yeah. So because he wore that fur coat and they did that meme about him. Yeah. Anyway, but Lamar Jackson has won games and is almost multiple time voted MVP. Man, like You got to give him his due. Like,
Yeah, he will have the Chiefs, but they came back. He don't play defense.
You hate on Jackson. You've mentioned before in the past that he can't throw the rock, and this is
He's had problems throwing the rock.
This is a quarterback that's rated in the high 50s in college for throwing the rock, above half of all the quarterbacks that have been drafted before him and after him. Check out the stats.
Watson. I mean,
and so
Watson won a national championship in college. If you want to look at go that way.
Yeah, but okay. So, what that defense on the team he was on?
You talking about Clemson?
Was one of probably.
Yeah, I'll give you that. Yeah, Louisville's defense is not Clemson's, but
yeah. So, and
Lamar was throwing passes out of his rear end in Louisville, man.
Yeah, but he was still making. His QBR rating was pretty high.
Nobody was saying Watson was a receiver. Everybody was saying Watson should have been the number 1 pick that year. Although a guy named Patrick Mahomes was drafted that year. So
right. Well, here's the thing.
Watson was a more highly coveted player as a pure passer.
Can we just agree that Lamar is?
I like how far he's came. He's came a long way.
He's an athletic, proficient quarterback. Can you just agree on that? That he's.
Oh athletic? Yeah, I never did. I never say he wouldn't.
Right. So, but
he's up there with Michael Vick, man.
And I believe that he's going to be.
Yeah, Burrow is the best pocket guy. Now, Burrow may mess around and have another calf injury. I don't think so. I think he plays well Sunday.
You know what Burrow's starting to remind me of? Matt Ryan.
Jeffrey Dahmer is who I was trying to think of. Macaulay Culkin plays Jeffrey Dahmer in a movie. That's who Burrow looks like.
You remind me of that crash test dummy, man. He's just sitting in the pocket.
That's the crash test. That is funny, actually.
Bam! Just wait for that hit.
So, all right, you got Baltimore. I got Cincinnati. How about the? I know you're a big Miami Dolphins fan. What do you think about Dolphins and the Patriots?
I think that the Patriots just got lucky that the Eagles were flying high too soon, and they brought them back to earth. But I still think that the Patriots will not win more than 6 games.
Okay, I'm right there with you, actually.
And
after breaking them down,
and I think that the Dolphins, after what happened last week, they're riding high. The Dolphins O-line coming back, like a couple guys coming back from injury.
Yeah, I think Armstead's coming back. Yeah,
Tua's giving him high praise, even though he left his boy on the side of the road. I don't know if you read that story where he zoomed past one of his linemen who's broke down on the street. Anyway, so that, and let me tell you, the offense is excited, but let me tell you what's even better. The coach has the defense playing on another level.
Yeah.
And it's going to be scary for those people coming into Miami thinking, oh, well, they just have an offense. You better watch out. That defense is young, it's fast, and they get to the ball.
Well, they gave up 31 points last. I wouldn't get too high on them.
No, but hey, listen,
Vic Fangio. That's who you're trying to think of. That's the defensive coordinator.
That they're gonna be getting better because the problem is in Miami is that they're a young defense, but when they get on the same page, man, you're gonna be scared, man. Watch out.
Let me just make this clear. Since Rodgers is done for the year, it's their division to lose. It's the Dolphins. They're 12-5, 13-4. I like the Dolphins to win Sunday. I don't know if you listened to me Monday or Tuesday, whenever. Mac Jones, everything has to be perfect to win with Mac Jones.
Well, Mac Jones.
The sky has to be perfectly blue. The running game has to be perfect every play.
Right. His defense got to put them on the 20-yard line.
Right.
His wide receivers got to be healthy. Like his running back got to get at least 110
The special teams has to knock you inside the 10-yard line perfectly.
Can you throw it to your tight end, respectively, like a decent throw?
He's just not a talented player. He reminds me of Alex Smith. I can't get that image out of my head.
No.
Except he can't run like Alex Smith. That's the problem.
You know who he kind of reminds me of is a young Collins. Kerry Collins. A young Kerry Collins.
Yeah.
All in
Collins had a slightly stronger arm though.
Yeah, but the thing
that's Chad's brother, so we can't cut him down too much.
Kerry Collins Kerry Collins at the Panthers before he was abusing alcohol.
Pickles says they'll clock 2 on win Sunday.
What? What
Pickles,
defense?
I'll have to disagree there. I think Tua owns these guys, and I think they'll play well. Even though I like what Belichick's done with the team defensively, but man, Mac Jones.
Is this before Waddle?
I forgot about Waddle. Waddle didn't even have a good game. Whatchamacallit had 200 yards. Tyreek Hill.
Tyreek Hill, yeah. I'm saying this is before after
Tua
Waddle
owns the Patriots, man. Not unless they knock Tua out. I mean, like Pickle says, they got a good edge rusher.
I mean, I don't know, man. I'm still.
Yeah, Mac Jones. It's just everything has to be perfect with this guy, man. He's a stopgap quarterback in this league. I've already made my mind up. They need a quarterback.
I kept telling you and Keith, Mac, don't put no money on him, man.
He's still drinking that old Kool-Aid. I mean, there's only so much Belichick can do, man. Pickles thinks it's going to be a close one. I think
that's too close.
I think it could go the other way, Pickles. Let me see. Pickles spread.
I like 27.
It's 3 points. I mean, Vegas respects the Patriots.
I don't know why.
I don't hear. It could go the other way, but only way the Patriots win if it's a storm or something. Everything has to. They'll have to catch breaks to win this game.
The Eagles were so on them, was out of it mentally as far as because they were winning. It was
a bad rainstorm up there in Foxborough last week.
Yeah, and they gave
that favors Belichick because he's good at coaching the elements,
Yeah, because he just holds on to ball. And
I'm with Chad. I think Cheetah. They've tried everything on Cheetah. You could try everything. He just runs through it. He runs through a zone. You put him on man, he outruns a man.
I predicted a blowout.
Tua's got a very high QBR, dude. Tua may be better than both Watson and Lamar right now as far as pure accuracy. I mean, he's on a tear right now. He's the best quarterback in the league today, accuracy-wise.
Yeah, no. And I wanted to say that.
Dude, his QBR is like 120. I mean, he's perfect for that system, man.
Yeah, and to see the thing is
now he could get hurt tomorrow and the whole thing be out, but I'm just telling you, man. Here's
the thing, Robert. His coach even said it. His coach said one thing. I wasn't going to bring the Shanahan system and shove it down my offensive coordinator's throat. He said that, right? And when he said that and he got this offensive coordinator, now they're working together and doing the combinations of the skills that their players have. You see, that's the difference between the Dolphins coaching staff and the 49ers coaching staff. Like, you can't just be like, this is the book, read it, and we're only going to play this. Yeah. Like, no. You got to.
That's how Andy Reid does. Now, I'm not saying he's better than Burrow or Mahomes. I'm saying he had a better week than both of them.
He did have a better week, and and believe it or not, he is more accurate than Burrow because Burrow's opportunity and chances come because he has 3 wide receivers, 3 that are over 6'2", and that can catch the ball anywhere. Like if you saw how and where they catch the ball. They let this guy look like a superstar, which is why I don't believe he should be getting paid what he's getting paid. The wide receiver should get that money, not Burrow.
No, man!
Because at the end of the day,
I'm a quarterback guy with a receiver guy any day.
The end of the day, the reason Cincinnati will get anywhere is because they have 3 wide receivers that can save this guy's tail end. And
I totally disagree with that.
Watch if 1 or 2 of these wide receivers get hurt this year.
Look at that receiving core in Chicago.
What about
Fields can't get none of these guys the ball.
Claypool doesn't want to play football. He just wants to field. The other
Mooney and Moore's one of the best route runners in the game.
Moore can run the routes, but he needs the ball in this vicinity. Like
look at Tampa's receiving core. Yeah, they won last week.
If you put the ball maybe a foot and a half away from his helmet, he ain't gonna try to reach it. That's not the kind of wide receiver he is.
Agree to disagree. It's mainly about the quarterback. It ain't about them wideouts.
Well,
I think he's overcompensated with receivers. They could do away with Higgins and fill in another need on defense. If you ask me.
Okay, so Robert, tell me this: they had the opportunity of getting rid of Higgins twice, for the draft and for the trade line.
They're afraid that Joe Burrow's going to leave them. They're insecure like that.
Because Joe Burrow needs those weapons.
No,
Joe Burrow can't do it on his own, bro.
Joe Burrow
how about
was going
this?
to win the Super Bowl over
My
the
question-
49ers.
My question to you is this: will Joe Burrow, could he do what he did on any other team?
Yes.
No. And I'll tell you this:
What happened to his coach after he left LSU?
it don't matter about college.
Yeah.
Don't matter. College don't
he
matter.
got fired. Joe
How
Burrow
about-
saved Ed Orgeron's job, man.
How about this? If he wasn't as expensive and he didn't have that price tag, would the Jets go out and try to get Joe Burrow?
Yeah, well, anybody would. Joe Burrow's the most valuable commodity in the whole league, man.
All Joe Burrow does is give you something to hang your hat on and say, we have a QB at Cincinnati.
His ceiling is Brady, Montana. Golly.
Yeah, Joe Montana wouldn't be nothing without Taylor and Jerry Rice. How about that? I said it. And I'll say it again.
Right.
Because
Hey,
when
we got to
Joe
move on, man. We're getting
Joe
late
Montana
here.
was in Kansas City, he couldn't take him to the promised land.
think,
and he was older.
Real quick, what's your thoughts on Pittsburgh and Cleveland?
I believe that game, if Pittsburgh doesn't win that game, the Pittsburgh will continue to have a bad season. And this will be the second time that Tomlin will have a bad season.
Yeah, I think there may be some pressure on Tomlin. The guy you mentioned last week is out this week. Their defensive tackle, and I can find it real quick. Hayward's out. Yeah. Cleveland's going to run the ball. They'll show up. Pittsburgh will show up in this game, and it'll be close. But I like Cleveland to win it.
Yeah. Here's the thing, and don't be surprised if the Pittsburgh Steelers come out of this in a dogfight, right?
Yeah, it's in Pittsburgh Monday night.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh is 2.5-point underdogs at home.
But
I like Cleveland even without their right tackle there.
If TJ Watt rings a bell of Watson,
Pickles thinks Tomlin's overrated. Now Tomlin has underachieved when he's had the favorite, but he's been the underdog last 2 weeks, and
if Watson get his head wrong by TJ Watt,
no, that can happen. I wouldn't be surprised if Pittsburgh won. I'm taking Cleveland, but I'm just been high on Cleveland. Pittsburgh will give them a game, though, I believe.
Yeah, this one's going to be like 17-14.
Yeah. Who are you picking?
I pick Cleveland, but I won't be surprised if it's Pittsburgh.
Okay. Going to the college game real quick. Man, Colorado, Deion turning into a villain a little bit, poking the bear here and there. Did you hear that story about the coach for Colorado State saying, I take my sunglasses off and hat off when I do an interview?
Oh, my God. Colorado State, man.
And then Deion gives all the sunglasses to his players. He's making a lot of money, by the way, for the university.
So, I heard that it was like $18 million.
Yes, $18 million for the local businesses. It's the most expensive college football ticket right now. In the game, $500 average, more than Ohio State, which was second at 100-something.
You look at Florida State. Right now you look like the biggest loser in college football. Because
they didn't hire Deion. Yeah,
you had the opportunity to have Deion before he even went to Jackson State.
Well, he didn't have any. He didn't have any colleges. He had high school.
Then after Jackson State, you were like, well, he's just over there coaching his sons. He don't care. Yo, Florida State. I'm sorry, but if you don't get anywhere close to a championship bowl game in the next 3 years, it's because you don't deserve to be here, man.
Do you think that? And I like it. It's great for our job. Because I think it's good entertainment. I made the comparison. They're like the U in the 80s. They're the Villans. You either love them or you hate them. I love Deion.
Do you think people hate Colorado?
Yes.
I think they're the St. Joe's of college football right now.
John Bristano saying, what has he done yet? How come he's getting so much attention?
Okay.
Mac and Jack don't like him.
I mean,
because he's, the flash, the transfer portal stuff, running the way he's talking to the kids.
The way he's talking,
hey, some of y'all gonna have to jump in that portal. Remember, he said that at the beginning.
Of course, you have to do it because you're preaching to the choir.
I'm just giving you the opposition.
Right, but the opposition is upset because they didn't use their position to be better and make the choices that
They
Dion
should have
made.
got them transfers, shouldn't they?
Right, like if you can't, a thing college football is that your championship potential is based on how and then you get these kids and how you get them to stay on your team. You could get 5-star players if you're good at recruiting. Can you keep your 5-star players because you're winning? Right? And if you take a look at Saban and what he's done in Alabama for the last 7 years before last year and this season, he was getting everybody.
Yeah.
And now he lost. And guess what? He's losing, even keeps on losing guys that are already committed to him, to Georgia. Now, that's just in the SEC. Dion opened a can of he opened Pandora's box.
Yeah. Hey, let me ask you this. Do you think creating, because he's got his son talking about the other teams and everything, do you fear that maybe there could be a brawl that could blow this thing up for, like on the field where you got players suspended and it hurts Dion recruiting? Or you think he probably tells them privately, let's don't go too far with this stuff. This is good for TV and promotion, but let's be disciplined on the field.
It's not fair to say, that Dion has to back down his dogs and calm his son down, because his sons are young men in the making, and they're making choices and they're doing things on their own.
But he's still responsible as the head coach too.
Right. No. And I'm not saying that Dion's not responsible, doesn't have any kind of responsibility. But what I'm saying is that, this is something that he's allowing his sons to do.
Yeah.
So that they can step up and back it up. Right. And I think
that you don't have any kind of concern.
No,
okay.
No. And my thing is this.
Of it blowing over.
If it has to do with academics, if it has to do with a player with another player or a situation, Dion's been known to handle that. Dion's been known to step up and be like, you ain't making the grades, you ain't playing on my field.
Yeah.
Like, he's been man enough.
Yeah, he's strict. I saw that in the Jackson State documentary they had on Amazon.
Ownership of but he can't control what kids do and what they choose to do. However, he can go in there and make sure that there's a consequence. Now I'm sure every day since Shaquan and his other sons said anything, because Dion don't need nobody to protect him, right? Yeah. He'll step up except for those
That's
big
true. And it's funny, Pickles brings up Andre. Do you remember that 1994 fight between Ryzen and Dion when Dion first went to 49ers?
When he pulled his
chain. He's 25 years old then,
He pulled his chain.
Yeah. We were talking about it at school the next day. I remember that.
But here's the thing, though, and this is a reality. If you want to beat me, you have to beat me.
Yeah.
Right. That's who Dion is. If you think you can beat me, come out and beat me. If not, then I can say whatever I want.
Yeah, I think he should tone it down a little bit with the rhetoric.
But the rhetoric is not coming from him. He's just saying, I told you all I've done this. I've been doing this since I've been out of high school. I've been winning since day one. I don't have to say it.
Like I said, I don't want it to happen. I want him to be. He's great for the game. The ratings are way up.
And I'm gonna tell you something, Robin, and a lot of people don't understand this.
Yeah,
he's great for the young men that he's under.
Yeah,
that are under him. That's under his tutelage, and he's great for the NFL players that he goes and he tries to help out.
Yeah,
like so. You, as much as you want to hate or dislike or not want to support this guy,
the traditionalists don't like him. Yeah,
and the thing is that, and I like what he's doing. I'm like you. Maybe it should be like toned down, but the media's the
just
one blowing
slightly,
up.
not much.
You're right. But again, if you want to beat him and show him that you're better than him.
Right. Well, he's got Oregon after this week. He's got Oregon and USC. That'll be must see. Hey, we got to get to Tennessee, Florida. What's your thoughts on that? Huge game down in Gainesville.
You know me. I'm always gonna root for Rocky Top. But here's the thing, Florida. If you don't win this game, you don't got a championship bowl game opportunity at all.
I think this could start a spiral for if Tennessee goes down there and beats them really bad. I think they could. I don't think they will. Because I'm not sure about Milton. He's got a problem overthrowing receivers too much. But I think Tennessee's a better team, man. I think they're faster. I don't know if it'd be 17 Pickles. It's down in Gainesville.
Yeah,
20 years. That's the last time they won in Gainesville. You was probably there, right?
Yeah, and here's another thing too. Their backup is actually there's high hopes for the backup for Milton.
For Tennessee, he's a true freshman though.
Yeah, but there's still high hopes for him. I don't know.
Oh, Nicolette, yeah.
All I know and all I'm saying is that defense is gonna be ready for Florida. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I think Tennessee wins. It feels like a 34-30. I wouldn't touch that point spread. I'll take them on the money line.
No, like as much as I like Tennessee, like I'm not betting, man. I'm hoping that they win the game. Like because I believe in the competition level of the SEC, and I believe that Florida has done some good recruiting. They're not showing that.
Billy Napier. Here's my thing. Let's tie this into Deion. What would think if Billy Napier loses 7 games again this year? He gets fired. Wouldn't Deion love to stick it back to Florida State, go into the rival Florida the next year? That would be crazy. It'd be bad for Tennessee folks because he's going to beat up on Tennessee again.
No, I don't think Deion's moving anywhere. First of all, but
I think the AD at Florida has got Deion's agent's name in his Rolodex. If they still have Rolodex.
I don't
Probably
know.
on the phone, right?
I don't know this, but I will say something is that I don't believe that Deion will go to the swamp before he'll go to Miami or Florida State. How about that?
Yeah.
Right?
I think it's a food for thought. You heard it here first. Nobody else said this. Florida will make a run at Deion. I don't believe in this Billy Napier guy, man.
No, I'm sure Florida has their I mean, they talk about bringing Steve Spurrier back every year.
Well, I mean, yes, Spurrier's 150 years old. I would bring Urban Meyer and all his problems back if he'd want to come back.
Hey.
I saw Swamp Kings.
Maybe he does make a comeback. Look, Urban Meyer never said he wasn't going to come back.
Well, he's got to get his health squared away. His daughter's grown now,
Yeah, so I don't know. I believe this. Urban Meyer has a better chance of going back to Florida than Steve
Collins said a beep on his beak. If I'm the AD, I'm talking to my boosters and saying, look what's happening in Colorado. What would he do with this Florida talent that he loves to bring in? I'm not trying to make it happen. I'm just calling balls and strikes. Because I know Tennessee fans, they'll end up stomping Tennessee in the ground if Deion came down there.
I think for one thing is that Deion is going to be where he's at, and he's going to do what he wants to do. I've always said that. But he's going to stay where he's at because his kids are there right now.
Well, if he can bring Schroeder and Travis to Florida, he'll drag them to Florida. If the NCAA will allow that, I don't know if they will.
I don't think they're allowed because they did that transfer once, and I don't think you're allowed.
It's a $64,000.
Now, if they can get that extra year if they go to graduate school.
Yeah, it's food for thought, guys. That's just something to end the show on. 34-30 Tennessee. What's the score going to be down there before we call it the show?
27-14.
Tennessee?
Tennessee, yeah.
Nice. The defense did look good against Virginia.
Look, all we know is going to be 7-3 or something.
Oh, God, don't say that. Have a good night, everybody. See you, man.
Happy Friday, guys.
Happy Friday.
Welcome to Sports Scope.